Oh, yeah!
Connecting to the internet.
No one makes a fool out of me. Get a load of this.
There's only one real Sonic.
Alrighty, E3. More than ever before, we see this war unfolding that we gamers have with each other. Usually it's called gameplay versus story, although I disagree a bit. It's not really about story, it's about context and identity to me. Story is a very strong tool to use to create context and identity, but it's not the goal in itself. Anyway, to explain, so you guys saw the E3 shows, right? Have you noticed one giant difference between Sony and Xbox and Nintendo? Namely that trailers of the first two are much more about atmosphere building, creating a context. The city, the people, the music, the camera, the color use. It's introducing us to a world, an idea. And then it builds up and then boom, gameplay. It's like it's selling us an idea, a world first, and then it uses gameplay to contextualize that idea. Assassin's Creed, there's London and old-timey English people, and crime and depression and blah blah blah, and then boom, in the middle of all that, then you're this guy who's going to deal with this crime and depression by doing assassin stuff. Alright. It's selling us an idea. It's about London, it's about atmosphere and time, a setting, and your job as an assassin. Then look at Nintendo that just skips the whole introduction and jumps right into it. Here's Mario, he jumps on things. Questions? Purity, which is what people like about Nintendo. No overblown production values, no big distractions. Straight to the point. This is what it's about. Alright, so I was particularly looking at Star Fox reveal, because I keep hearing people saying that they want Nintendo to make a Sonic game. And I figured that Star Fox is the closest Nintendo property that there is that is comparable with Sonic. Not just because the intros, but because its intensity, it's semi-serious, it's cool, it has alien and colorful environments, yet with a distinct urban and military quality to it, and at its core, it's an arcade game. It needs to pop, have energy, have spectacle. All the qualities I'm looking for with our blue blur. So I was like, okay, let's study the Star Fox reveal and imagine that this is what they do with Sonic. So it starts with a very funny and interesting puppet show, which is great and cute, but let's be honest, this is more about Nintendo than really about Star Fox. It's them being cute about themselves. This isn't selling me Star Fox yet. But then, trailer. Notice, there's no context building, no world building, no, ooh, the galaxy is in trouble, can someone save it? Nope. Instantly, bam, airplanes flying and shooting, no nonsense, no time wasted, straight to the point. Alright, Fox talking and the music blaring for 10 seconds is all the context building we need. It's about gameplay. The rest of Nintendo's demonstration of the game also went into why we need to care. It's like, hey, you already like Star Fox, right? Well, here's more of it, and here's what's new. They're not selling Star Fox, they're explaining the mechanics. Like if a car commercial wouldn't show how cool the car is, but just skips straight to the technical schematics of its driving properties. Straight to the point. Star Fox is back, and now this is a gameplay tweak, and that's a gameplay tweak. It's not selling to a new audience, it's selling to people who already want a new Star Fox. But that's what it's about, right? Gameplay. Context is irrelevant. Point is, flying spaceships, and when you press a button, a thing happens. That's what new audiences should know, and should sell them to this concept, this game. So then, we have a new Metroid. And everyone's angry and pissed off. Why? Have you played it yet? Don't judge it until you played it, dude. Gameplay looks good. You press a button and a thing happens. Yay, gameplay. Why is everyone upset? Samus isn't in it. Who cares? That's story. You know what story on your Metroid, right? Remember Other M? It's a third-person shooter. Well, yeah, it's based on Metroid Prime, not classic Metroid. The characters look dumb. So, it's not about the characters, it's about gameplay. Look, I'm screwing with you. I know exactly why people are upset. It's exactly why I am tired and sarcastic about new Sonic games. This isn't Sonic, he doesn't act like Sonic, the world doesn't look like Sonic's, the gameplay isn't Sonic. But then I get blown off. Shut up, hater, it's about gameplay. As long as there's a Sonic-shaped figure on the screen and he hops on platforms and you use firepower on Fireblock, and then a thing happens and you can jump on more platforms, that's what it's about. Gameplay. So again, Metroid, there you are, gameplay in its pure form. Excellent gameplay. Look at the gameplay. I bet Nintendo really perfect at the aiming system and the projectile speed and the collision detection and all the little mathematical calculations that program gameplay stuff. Great gameplay, nobody cares. What's going on? Identity. Nintendo has half a dozen of 2D platformers. So identity to set them apart is necessary to make them have a purpose of existence. Donkey Kong Country. I don't know about you, but when I think about the old Super Nintendo Donkey Kong games, I think of intensity. Mario was clean and nice and happy, but Donkey Kong was intense. Big, gritty enemies with deep voices. Dark, scary, dead in one hit. Promises of secrets, pirates, treasures. Damn, that music! Terrifying monsters, hidden temples, danger! Those sound effects straight out of an Indiana Jones movie. damn, Donkey Kong was a complete different experience from Mario. And then you go to New Donkey Kong Country, Returns, and it's Happy Monkey in Happy Land fighting happy enemies. Gone is Donkey Kong's identity. I'm looking at a Mario game that has Donkey Kong in it and some barrels thrown in, because that's what's left of Donkey Kong's identity, a gameplay gimmick. But who cares? It's a platformer. Kong hops on platforms, so it's a platformer, so it's a Donkey Kong game. Donkey's identity has been simplified to a general game genre that half Nintendo's library is filled with. So what sets Donkey Kong apart from Yoshi now? Barrels and bananas. Great. So what's Sonic's identity? Speed? People's favorite Sonic game from the past decade is Colors, and that game degraded speed to a minigame and unplayable cutscenes completely detached from its core gameplay that is as slow as my grandma. Are the loops? Green Hill Zone, little nostalgic elements, but only from the first level from the first game, of course. My point is, 2 months ago, I bought this game, I brought it up before, Blue Kid 2 on my 3DS for $5 or so. I was like, this is it, isn't it? This is Sonic's future. You jump on things, you're a shaped guy who's blue and spiky, the level is super generic grass stage. This is it? This is what Sonic fans want me to get to Nintendo NX and lay down 60 big ones for. To play a game that I can essentially get for small change on my cell phone. My question is, for those who think that gameplay is the most important thing about Sonic, my question is, why Sonic? What is it about Sonic that you want to buy his games? What does Sonic have that Blue Kid 2 doesn't? Look, I follow Sonic because of this. See this? Not even story. I can do without story. But this, energy, action, crazy sense of humor, engaging humor, not detaching humor, sense of adventure and fun. This is what I want in my Sonic games. I like its mythology, I like its sense of fun and cartoony goofiness, yet grounded in real mythos and adventure and with a slight edge of intensity. Sonic gives me energy, set pieces, adventures that no other video game hero can provide. Outside of Mega Man, who's been missing in action, and Ratchet and Clank, that's the closest relative to Sonic, but I don't really like its mythology. It's too clean and practical. There's no surrounding mystery to it. And the action is mostly focused on shooting guns. It's close, but no cigar. So we're left with only Freedom Planet. Speed is Sonic's greatest asset. But as a friend of mine explained to me before, Dreckhold, speed is more than just a unit of movement. Speed is a sensation. It's a danger. A space rocket goes 1,000,000 times faster than a car. But look at this car speeding through the streets and then compare it to this space thing floating in space. Tell me what looks faster. Because this space thing moves faster than a car, but without sensation, and environments, context, a grounding of its speed. Without all of that, it's meaningless. Making Sonic move fast isn't what makes him fast. It's a spectacle, the context. Sonic moving fast through abstract shapes isn't fast, it's random. Sonic blasting through streets and dodging obstacles spectacularly. That's speed. Even with a reduced amount of literal mathematical unit of speed. To me, context, energy, identity is the most important thing about Sonic, and the gameplay is just there to support it. The game lures me in with a promise. You are Sonic the motherfucking Hedgehog, and he's going to have adventures and save the day and have insane set pieces and danger that he needs to overcome. And I want the gameplay to fuel, to energize, to contextualize that promise. This is what it's about. More so than literal stories and cutscenes. Although those can also help create energy and context, when done right. When it's a cheap cell phone game, sure, simplify Sonic's concepts to its core mechanics. Great fun for when I need to wait at the dentist. But a big full-price living room experience? Give me some bang for my buck, dude. But if you dismiss all that for nonsense, for danger, for the reason that Sonic is dead, then what's left? If it's only about gameplay, not even Sonic gameplay, but just generic platform gameplay, then why Sonic? I mean, I have seen a lot of people mentioning that Sonic's been missing his pinball physics from the early games, and that indeed makes sense, so those are also a huge part of Sonic's identity and something sorely missing. Nevertheless, I haven't seen any of the other games I'm supposed to be excited about bring those back either, so yeah. And if that's the thing you're looking for, then I understand and respect that position. That makes sense. But other than pinball physics? What sets Sonic apart from, say, Blue Kid? What does Sonic have that a Blue Kid doesn't? Blue spiky hair, hopping on platform, all the Sonic stuff you need. What's Sonic's reason to exist? I know what it is, to me. But what about you? You just want a Sonic-shaped chess piece in your obstacle course? That's pretty much the end of the whole story? Answer me that.